We are at the end of 2024 and I wanted to use this time to talk about the things that I enjoyed watching the most. Now, these are not necessarily the best things out there. It's impossible for anyone today to watch everything that comes out, and hence it's not fair for me to call these things the best of the year. These are just the things that I loved watching the most. I found them the most entertaining pieces of cinema, and hence these are not ranked. It's just unfair to compare chalk and cheese, and sometimes those are the kind of choices that we have. So this is just a list of things that I loved watching the most. Here it goes. First up is a animated spectacle called Transformers 1. It was surprising because it is easily the best Transformers film to come out of the franchise in a very long time. It is hilarious, it is fun, it has fabulous action, some breathtaking animation, and a fantastic voice cast. This is a film that you should be watching if you have watched the Transformers franchise. This is a film that you should be watching if you've not watched any of the Transformers films. This is the place to start for all of you guys. Absolutely must watch. Next up may not be the most entertaining, because entertaining is not the word I would choose to describe it. It is gut-wrenching, hard-hitting. It is a Netflix original called Sector 36, where Vikrant Massey and Deepak Dobriyal absolutely hit it out of the park. Deepak Dobriyal for sure is a benchmark in this film. I have done a detailed review of the film as well as a breakdown of scenes that I loved the most. You can watch this review on my channel. It's not an easy watch. It is gonna be difficult to digest, so I would put that word of caution out there. Next up is possibly the biggest surprise of the year for me, a film called Kill. While I had heard fabulous things about it since the time it had gone to the film festivals and gotten rave reviews, I wasn't prepared for what I was gonna watch. Kill is a hard-hitting action entertainer that is relentless from start to finish. It has no songs. It is about an hour and a half in runtime, and yet it will catch you out of breath right from the word go. And by the time the film finishes, you are not sure what you've seen because there is so much that has happened. It is a benchmark in Indian action cinema. It is cinematographically and action choreographically just the best that I have seen in ages. Next up is Stree 2. I really thoroughly enjoyed watching this, and it did break the curse of the sequel. So while a lot of people may feel that it's not as good as the first film, I'm somebody who enjoyed it as much as the first film. May not be as funny as the first, but it was definitely deeper rooted than the first one. So I really enjoyed the writing part and the fact that they were able to turn the character of Stree on its head and the narrative, turn that narrative on its head. I really enjoyed that. It was very clever writing. And just the fact that, guys, Maddock Films, hats off for creating a universe of your own. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy. DC has been at it for years. Sony has been at it and failed. DC has been at it and failed multiple times. And these guys have now 3 blockbusters out of 4. The 4th one is also not a bad film. Actually, Bhedia, I want to call out, is a very good film. It is absolutely a film that you should be watching and appreciating. It may not be as funny or as entertaining as these, but it's still a great creature feature and one of the best ones to come out from India for sure. Next on the list is easily the funniest film that I've seen in a very long time. Funniest for 24 for sure. It is a madcap comedy called Madgaon Express, directed by Kunal Khemu and stars 3 very talented actors. Pratik Gandhi especially in this film is hilarious. Just thinking about his turn from a scared person who's always eating medicines to somebody who's high on drugs, and the transition on that is hilarious. Absolutely must watch, guys. It is hilarious from start to finish. Next up is one of the few Hollywood films that I was able to catch in the theaters, and I really enjoyed this. It's called The Wild Robot. It's an animated film about a robot who's stuck in the wild and how this robot is able to adapt to the surroundings and take care of a youngling. I think the fact that it so beautifully depicts the relationship between a parent and a child is heartwarming to watch. It's like a warm hug. That's what Wild Robot is. If anybody's looking for a warm hug, Wild Robot is the film to watch. Next up is the second film in the list, which is a Netflix original, Chamkila. I loved this film and so much about this film. Yes, absolutely, Diljit's acting in this, his performance has been phenomenal and everybody's been talking about it. But one of the things that's not really been talked about as much is Imtiaz's vision. I think the way he's written this film, the way he's directed some of these scenes, it is just such a special film from Imtiaz, as well as A.R. Rahman's score. I think the fact that he's able to blend his work along with Chamkila's original sound is a testament to what A.R. Rahman is all about. He is truly a legend, a modern maestro. And this is a film that you should be watching for Diljit's performance, for the vision and wizardry of Imtiaz Ali, as well as the genius of A.R. Rahman. Now on to the film that made me cry the most easily, and by far a long margin. It's called Inside Out 2. This is a film that I knew from the start I'm going to be falling in love with, even if it's remotely as good as the first part. Once again, the curse of sequel has been broken in how, and Disney kind of has a habit of this, and Pixar has a habit of this, with Toy Story 2 really breaking down the shackles of the first film. Inside Out 2 does just that years later. And the fact that this is a tearjerker, it's maybe made for the kids, or visually it may be for the kids, but from a writing perspective, from the narrative and the undertones, this is something which every adult is going to be able to relate to. Every adult is going to really have a hard time addressing this. And if you are somebody who's as emotional as I am, you are going to tear up at multiple occasions. It's a fabulous film that you can watch again and appreciate the beauty behind Disney and the minds behind Pixar. Visually, the most stunning film on this list easily is Dune 2, and I really enjoyed watching this in the cinemas. It's made for the big screen. It is made to be enjoyed and consumed on IMAX. The bigger the screen, the bigger the sound, the better your experience is going to be. Right from the first frame and the first scene, when the camera viewpoint tilts and these people start to ascend up, it is unexpected and visually stunning, mesmerizing. There are so many such moments in this film. It is something to be celebrated, to be cherished, and to be wowed by. Are coming to the close of the list, but it is relentless in terms of visually stunning, entertaining films. And hence, what I have next is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. George Miller just does not know when to quit or when to say enough. And he continues to have so much in his bank that he continues to bring it out. I mean, after watching Mad Max and the fact that he's made 3 more Mad Maxes before this, it was surprising to really see that there is still so much that he can bring to the table and so much that he can bring to the large screen. Anna Taylor-Joy is a treat to watch as Furiosa, and the film is a prequel to Mad Max and a origin story for Furiosa as well. But the surprise package here, guys, it's the God of Thunder, none other than Chris Hemsworth. He was the biggest surprise package for me in this film, and I thoroughly enjoyed his performance. It is visual delight, highly entertaining, great set pieces, fabulous action, and relentless from start to finish, just like Mad Max. The last film on the list is possibly the most heartwarming film there is, one that puts a smile on your face, and that smile continues when you walk out of the theater, and when you think about this film 3 months after watching it. The smile continues to be there, and that's the beauty of Lapata Ladies, directed by Kiran Rao. I think the fact that the performances are so good, the writing is fabulous, the level of detailing here and storytelling is just phenomenal. The highlight of this film is the fact that it's able to do so while not really coming from a point of view of an educated, high-end city like Delhi or Mumbai. The beauty is that it's able to push this narrative forward from an extremely small town. Now on to the notable mentions, who were not part of my most enjoyable list, but then again, there were some things that I enjoyed in these films, may not be as wholesome as the ones in the list. Avesham for a phenomenal and fabulous Fahad Fazil. You cannot deny the fact that this man can do no wrong when he's on screen. It may not be a fabulous film, but this is a special performance in a film like this. Next notable mention is Munjia from The House of Maddock, another film from Maddock Films, which is part of the horror comedy universe that they have set up along with Stree and Bhedia. Really entertaining, highly entertaining film. Munjia is streaming today. I really enjoyed the storytelling here as well as performance from Abhay. I think he's somebody to watch out for, and I look forward to more performances from him. Next up is Pushpa 2. I think I can safely say that this was one of the most entertaining films that I saw in the theaters. It was fun from start to finish, complete paisa vasool. I have a detailed review, but I mean, you don't need to watch a detailed review to know what Pushpa is all about. It's pretty much Allu Arjun and his swag, and then Fahad Fazil and his glass. Some fabulous writing here, which was the surprising part for me. So yes, Pushpa 2, highly enjoyable. Next up on the list is a surprising film that I watched very late, because it continued to run in the theaters. It's called Kalki 2898. I think that's the number that we have. Yeah, Kalki 2898. I wasn't expecting this film to be good. And yes, the first 40-45 minutes of this film are painful because you're getting the setup for the hero, and that entire sequence is highly painful. But then this film goes into masterful storytelling along with a great world building that you can see here. It's not been seen in Hindi cinema, not like this, not at this scale. Deadpool and Wolverine, hilarious, yes, fabulous writing, really quirky and completely unnecessary if you ask me. But then that's what you get from Marvel today, that it may not be necessary, but as long as it's good, I'm happy about it. The last on the list is possibly one of the sleeper films, I'd say. I was expecting it to be mind blowing after Andhadhun from Sriram Raghavan. It may not be mind blowing, and yet it is a film that is worth watching because there are moments of this film that you would want to tip your hat to Sriram for sure. So it's a notable mention nonetheless. This was my roundup of 24, the films that I loved watching the most, guys. Let me know how many of these have you watched, if you think what I thought, or any other films that you thought I watched and missed adding to this list. Do let me know what I should be watching if I've missed out on your favorite ones.